Yeah, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. All praises and all honor and all glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, the elders in Connecticut, the brothers in the four winds preaching in truth and sincerity, right? These are the latter days where we're putting our life on the line, you know, through displaying your body as a living sacrifice to the Israelite foreigners whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel and have come back to the fold. Shalom to you sisters, you Akwafim, listening and learning under your husband or your spiritual leader. Yeah, this your brother Aram Yahawada with the lesson.
We still have water because science has managed to go way beyond the expectations of the ancient Hebrew. If you read really the Hebrew Bible, the Old Testament, it's all about agricultural production. It's about rain, it's about pestilence, it's about fertility. And now we are much better than the God of the Bible. I mean, in the Bible you have these recurring droughts, that the people of Israel do something wrong, God's become angry, drought, no water. And now Israel has built in recent years a huge desalinization factory on the shores of the Mediterranean. And most drinking water in Israel today actually come from these plants, from these factories. So we can make God as angry as we like. I mean, he can stop the rains, we don't care. We still have water.
Yeah, this is Proverbs chapter 16, verse 18. Pride goeth before destruction. So it's nothing but destruction coming to you Edomites, right? You so-called Jewish with all that pride, which proves that you're not the people of the Most High to have all that pride, right? The people of the Most High will never say nothing like, oh, well, we can make God as mad as we want to. We don't care. But then none of you so-called Christians are questioning that. When would the people of the Most High who basically got kicked out of the land get back into the land finally, so-called fulfilling prophecy, and by getting the God of the Bible angry, this agriculture God that you're talking about will lead to you being thrown out of the land again. So you're not questioning that these people cannot be the people if you can make God as mad as you want. And don't worry, we have water while the rest of the world is so-called going through drought. Right? You're not saying anything about that. So you Christians are finished, man. And a haughty spirit before a fall, right? And haughty goes into pride, man. Right? That's basically pride, arrogancy. You're arrogant. And you're nothing but a mere man. So better is it, right? Because you Christians, you like to partake in it, right? Because even though you're not really actually going to drink any of that water, you're not anything, you're upholding who these people are. So better is it to be of an honest spirit, right? Than with the lowly, right? It's better for you to be having the spirit that we have, right? On the highways and the byways with sackcloth off, angry, right? Mad. Surely oppression maketh the wise man mad. Be angry and sin not. That's what we're doing, man. We're sharing showing the Lord that we're angry, and we're in a position where we're sick and tired of being sick and tired, and the Lord can hear our cries, man. He could finally come and save us from this oppressive devil, man, who call himself Jewish, man. Right? You're supposed to be with the lowly, man. Then to divide the spoils, right? Those so-called spoils, which they're not going to divide it with you, but you're smiling and clapping as if you're going to partake in it, right? Divide the spoils with the proud, man. And that's what they are. They're just simply proud. but you're gonna enjoy in the destruction. You're gonna you're gonna you're gonna be divided up in the anger of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, that righteous anger. This is Proverbs 16 and 18 in the GNBUK. Pride leads to destruction. Yeah, and that's ultimately what it is, man. That pride is going to ultimately lead to their destruction, man. And arrogance, see, to downfall, right? And that's ultimately what's going to happen, man. Their enterprise shall not be it should not make its manifestation fully. The Lord is going to take them out of power, right? It is better to be humble and stay poor than to be one of the arrogant that get to share their loot, right? Because why would you want to share within that whole thing, right? Even though they're not going to ever share with you, right? But there's people who share in that loot. A lot of these so-called elites and celebrities and things that lead you down the wrong path, and they break them off a little bit of crumbs, because there's crumbs compared to the trillions that they make, right? To deceive you. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 18 in the CEV, which I like the way this says, simple and plain, direct to the point. Too much pride will destroy you. Hey, that's just what it is, man. Too much pride of Amalek is gonna destroy him, man. And that's Amalek has the most pride, which the Lord had already wanted Israel to wipe them completely out. But it's all set up through the Spirit that you are going to be that one that needs to be here to be the first fruits of slavery, man. Right? For you are better off to be humble and poor than to get rich from what you take by force. And that's ultimately what they've done throughout history, man. They have taken things, spoils, riches, water, food, resources, gold, silver, uranium. They took it by force, man. Right? Proverbs chapter 17 in the CEV, right? Yahweh, which is all caps. Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai does not like those who defend the guilty, right? Because these, these elites, these Rothschilds, the Bilderbergs, the DuPonts, the Gettys, the Oppenheimers, right? They're guilty, man. Or condemn the innocent, right? And who's the innocent, man? The so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian who they're basically trying to deem or as a terrorist, man. Right? Proverbs 17, KJV. He that justified the wicked, right? And that's ultimately what you people do. You justify these so-called Jewish, where they don't meet the prophecies. They're basically mocking God, right there in front of the whole world, man. This went out throughout national TV, man. Millions upon millions of people watch this while they're telling you people that you're in a drought, that your water and stuff is can't run, that you turn on your water and mud is just pouring out, right? These are the conditions that they're willing to leave you in, but then they're bragging about, oh yeah, We'll make God as mad as we want. We got plenty of water. Don't worry. We're good. But is that something that the people of God would do while they're having their thirst quenched? They're leaving the rest of the world without any water. That's what the people of God would do. Yeah, man. You people got a sick, twisted mentality, man. And he that condemneth the just, right? Because ultimately, that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna come down with this martial law. They're gonna come down upon accusing the brethren before Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai night and day to come down with great wrath, knowing that he got but a short time, right? Condemning the just, man, because we're speaking what's upright, man. Telling you about the sea hip, the charagma, man. Telling you about how this devil has been manipulating the thing, you know, which government means. Government means a manipulation of your mind, man. You're manipulated to think that this people are here for you, telling you that your vote don't count. They already choose it, they choose from the same bloodline, man. Every one of the presidents were related, and they put that out on TV. But you still follow behind all this stuff, man. Right? They're telling you that the game is rigged. Right? And we try to tell you. The elites tell you. We tell you. But you're so far gone. Even they both are an abomination to Yahweh, man. Right? Bashem Yahweh Shai. Right? You're just an abomination to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. That's why you got to get put to death, man. You 2/3, you got to get put to death. And the rest of you nations, you got to get put to death, man, because you're not right anyway. You're not even an Israelite. So if the Lord's going to put 2/3 of Israel to death, man, what is it for you, man? What end is it for you? There's no not even a gray area for you, man. Proverbs 11 and 21. Though hand joining hand, right? Though hand joining in hand, right? So you're holding hands with the wicked, man. The wicked shall not be unpunished, right? You know what I'm saying? Like that so-called black woman when them goddamn white supremacists was down there, and them Jakes was finna get on them. She basically laid her body in front of the white man so they wouldn't hit him, man. So she joined in hand. Hey, look! At the end of the day, man, America's gonna get ICBM missiles turned into a lake of fire, and these elites are gonna go into their bunkers. And a lot of you Jakes are gonna get waste, man. You're gonna turn into dust, man. You're gonna go back to the elements from which you came, right? And these elites are gonna go into chains, man, bondage, right? So you joining hand in hand, right? The wicked shall not go unpunished, but the seed, right? Because the Lord's still dealing with that seed, starting with the elect of the righteous shall be delivered, right? That elect seed is going to be delivered, man. Not dealing with someone called Jewish, and that they can make God as angry as they want, right? Which don't make sense. If you're fulfilling prophecy, why there should be no diseases anymore? There should not be any war anymore. There should not be any poverty anymore, right? Especially since you said everybody can be saved, or everybody has their place in this so-called God. You know, you have your place with our God, and it's called hardcore slavery, man, for 1,000 years. And of course, all the other nations get their land back, but they're gonna pay tribute, right? And they're gonna keep the law, statutes, and commandments. But Esau, you're gonna get completely wiped out, right? So this is Galatians chapter 6, verse 7. Be not deceived, man. So you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians who you're not supposed to be deceived by the so-called Jewish, right? These lies, these people that don't meet prophecy, they don't fit the curses of Deuteronomy. They don't fit the blessings or the curses. I mean, because we don't have to just say the curses. Let's just speak about the blessings. Let's just speak about how there's not supposed to be any diseases in the world. Let's just speak about how there shouldn't be anyone dying of famine, right? There should not be any talks of no water, because it says the land is going to flourish when the Israelites get there. We don't got to just talk about the curses. Let's talk about the blessings, right? That the trees and the leaves are going to give off healing for the nations, right? So why aren't you asking these people, where's the healing for the nations? But see, be not deceived. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap, right? And he's going to reap slavery, man. He sowed slavery, death, right? Pestilence. That's what he's going to get, man. And the Lord said, give him double, man. For he that soweth to the flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption. And ultimately, that's what it is, man. They're going to decay, man. Right? They're gonna reap corruption, man. Because that is not going to lead to life. It's going to lead to slavery, bondage, and for you 2/3, it's going to lead to ICBM missiles, and you left here to be missile food, for you to be the gasoline to the fire, man. Right? It's going to burn even hotter because of the fat and the oils within your body. Right? But he that soweth to the spirit, right? Getting back to the right name, because the letter J is only 4,500 years old. So Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem Rekal, right? Back to the Father and His Son and a Holy Spirit, right? That trueness, man. Knowing that He's a so-called black man, you're so-called so-called black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. You are the Israelites, man. You got to sow to that spirit, man. Right? Because it goes deeper than that. Right? Keeping the law, statutes, commandments to the best of your ability. Loving your brother. Right? Right? You sow to the spirit, so shall of the spirit reap life everlasting, man. And that's what we're hoping to do, man. We're reaching out to reap life everlasting, man. Right? This is Isaiah chapter 3, verse 9. The show of their countenance doeth witness against them, right? So that's ultimately what it is, man. You so-called black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, you're supposed to be looking at a man's countenance, right? Because that do bear witness against them, right? Yeah, so this is online entomology. It says countenance, behavior, bearing conduct, manners, early 14th century, outward appearance. See? The looks. Right? So that's their outward appearance. So they're wearing the so-called yarmulke. That's their outward appearance. And that outward appearance is supposed to say, oh, that's a Jewish people. Those are God's people. Oh, don't mess with them because they're God's chosen people. Right? Supposedly. Right? But then they own the banks. They own Hollywood. They basically run all of America. British. Australia. They run, no, basically damn near the whole world, because you have to have a central bank. Most of these countries have a central bank. And those are ran by the Jewish, right? I think the only one that didn't, there were only 4 countries a while back ago that didn't have a Rothschild central bank, right? And I think you got less than that now. I think there's only maybe 1 or maybe 2. So they're basically making that move to run the whole entire world. That's why they said, we care not who makes the laws, but as long as I get a hold of the nation's money, right? You know that he can make those moves, right? Which that's why they're gonna have this great reset, right? And that great reset is gonna change everything to digital, and then they're really gonna control everything. Mind, body, and soul, right? Through the charagma, right? Through that digital tag, the digital all. So as they're born speaking lies, not that babies can talk, right? Because, you know, see how that with the babies, you know what I mean? They basically talk these lies. See, it's like almost like a brand new baby. Put a yarmulke on it, right? That baby can't talk, but even in itself, we know that wearing a yarmulke in this so-called world, that's known as you're being the Jewish, and that you're supposed to be God's chosen people. But we know we can see through the lies, right? Through the prophecies. As a matter of fact, besides just the curse, we'll just go into the blessings, right? Right? We'll just go to the blessings. Right? So that baby cannot speak. But what? Just in that itself, without even speaking, you're telling lies. Right? Right? You devils always have all that pride. It's Isaiah chapter 47:7. And thus saith, I shall be a lady forever, right? And that's all you ever do is say that you think that your kingdom is going to be here forever. So that thus did it not lay these things to thy heart, right? Which is your mind. You didn't put it to your mind that every other kingdom were lifted up by the Lord and destroyed by the Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, right? Neither did it remember the latter end of it, right? Because this has always happened. It's a reoccurring thing, and it's even in scriptures that the Lord planned on giving the throne of David and the rulership of this world back to Yahushai and back to King David, back to the Israelites, right? Back to the 12, back to the 144,000, back to the Israelites, right? The Lord said they were going to be joint heirs with him. Speaking of the Israelites, right? Because what was Peter, John, James, Mark, Luke, well, what were they all? They were all Israelites. So those 12 disciples who will end up being apostles are going to end up being judges, judging the 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes. And that's a promise from the Lord, right? So how did you come up with that? So matter of fact, your devils are in the land. You can make God mad. It doesn't matter. Where's the 12 judges, right? Where are the 12 gates with all the 12 tribes' name on it? Since you devils are in that land, because you wouldn't be worried about water, right? Because the Lord said He's going to beautify the land. He was going to, you know what I'm saying? It says, Therefore, hear now this, thus that art given to pleasures that dwell carelessly, and that's ultimately what you've been doing, man. You've really truly been dealing carelessly, not knowing the power that you're dealing with. Say it's in thy heart, which is in your mind. It's what you're thinking constantly. I am and none else beside me. Right? You're thinking that you're the top number one, Edomites, man. Dealing with Amalek. First of all, Amalek's the top. In their mind, they're the top number one Edomites. You're even above all the other Edomites, right? Because you will murder and kill all the other Edomites so you can stay on top. That's why you have your so-called central banking. And shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. Right? But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in your perfection, right? Dealing with that so-called Illuminati, right? Just when you just like it tells you in Job, right when you're about to eat, when it looks like you in your sufficiency, when you look like everything is going good, that's when the Lord is going to pull the rug off underneath you in your perfection. For the multitude of thy sorceries, right? And for the great abundance of thy enchantments, man. Right? Right. And he shall be driven from light into darkness, right? From your rulership, from you being at the light, the so-called Illuminati. You're going to be driven from having that light into darkness and cast out of the world, right? Out of your rulership position. He shall neither have sons nor nephews among his people, nor any remaining in his dwelling, right? You're not going to have any of those things, man. After him shall be astonished, right? Because they that come after you, right? You're going to be astonished at his day, as they were, as they that went before were affrighted, right? And that's what's going to happen, because you are going to be affrighted, right? Yeah. So this is Job 27:13. This is the portion of a wicked man, and you are the wicked. Malachi chapter 1 verse 4. You are the wicked with the power, with Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, and the inheritance, right? Because you want an inheritance, right? You want our inheritance, but this is your inheritance, the inheritance of oppressors, which they shall receive of the Almighty. So this is going to be your inheritance that you're going to receive of the Almighty. If his children be multiplied, it is for the sword, right? And that's why they're going to be in astonishment. They're going to be affrighted, man. Because when it comes, their existence is only to be existed for the sword, man. And his offspring shall not be satisfied with the bread, man. So we're gonna barely give you enough to eat, since you want to starve out the world, you want to kill the world, you want to give GMO foods and all these other different things, right? Yeah. So this is Obadiah basically talking about Esau. So Obadiah, thus saith Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, power concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle, which is talking about Edom. I'm going to skip down to 3. It says, the pride of thy heart have deceived thee. See, lob your mind. That's your within your mind that you're never going to get brought down. Right? You're going to be a lady forever. Has deceived thee. Thus that dwelleth in the cliffs of the rocks, whose habitation is high, right? Dealing with those caves that you dwelt when you were in Mount Seir, but then you went to the Caucasus Mountain, where you get the word Caucasian from, and now you're you have dwelled in those mountains, man. You're a caveman. And those habitations were high. That saith in his heart, with your mind, Lob, who shall bring me down to the ground, right? So you still have that same spirit, man. That same spirit you've always had. Though thus exalt thyself as the eagle, right? And who's have had the eagle, man? Dealing with Greece, right? Rome, Spain, Portugal, Germany, England, France, right? Even Australia, right? You perpetuate that, man. You perpetuate your haughtiness, your pride, right? Wherever you go, right? Though thus set thy nest amongst the stars, and that's your so-called space stations and different satellites and whatever you got in outer space, right? Your Star Wars program, your what is it, your Space Force now. Thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. And that's ultimately that's your pride, man. You're still gonna get brought down. All praises and all honor and all glory unto Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, Bashem Rakal Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstones, the elders in Connecticut, the brothers in the Four Winds, preaching in truth and sincerity, risking their lives, the hopeful elect, Shalom, to the Israelite foreigners whose phenotype may look like another nation, but you have come back to the fold. The sisters of Aquafium, listening and learning under their husband, which is their spiritual leader, Shalom, death to America.